August 13th, 1943. Dear Diary, the Jews of Europe have suffered, as has no other group. The percentage killed among them in the past few years far exceeds the losses among any of the nations in the battles which have been fought throughout the war. Many of these Jews, for generations, considered Germany, Poland, Romania, and France their country and permanent home. Murder and annihilation are never a satisfactory answer, for the few who escape grow up more bitter than their persecutors, and a day of reckoning always comes, which is what the story of Moses and the bulrushes teaches us. I do not know what we can do to save the Jews in Europe and to find them homes, but I know that we will be the sufferers if we let great wrongs occur without exerting ourselves to correct them.
Did you or did you not give any money to the Nationalist Socialist Party?
No.
No, you say. Well, I now wish to mark and admit to evidence Prosecution's Exhibit D, a report by the Vice President of the Bavarian Diet, dated February 1924, which offered information that, and I quote, the Hitler movement was partly financed by an American anti-Semitic chief who was Henry Ford.
That is a lie!
So received.
Mr. Ford, can you tell the court if, in fact, you received the Grand Cross of the Supreme Order of the German Eagle in July 1938, which is the highest decoration that can be given to a non-German citizen?
Yes, I received and accepted it with honor.
And the medal was accompanied with a congratulatory message from the defendant. Mr. Ford, why was the medal awarded to you?
For my pioneering efforts in mass production factories.
Mr. Ford, these achievements in mass production technology, were they applicable to other industries?
Yes.
I would like to place before you certain blueprints and ask you to describe them to the jury.
From what I can tell, these look like a transport depot, a compound of some kind.
A compound?
Yes. You see, over here is the railway terminal where the livestock's unloaded, and the compound where they... Get this away from me! Nobody knew what kind of factories they were building.
I now wish to mark and admit to evidence Prosecution's Exhibit E, the Third Reich's blueprints for the design and construction of a factory located in German-occupied Poland, a factory in an abandoned railroad yard, a factory employing the latest modern line efficiency. Its name will go down in history as the most infamous factory ever built. Its name was Auschwitz. Mr. Ford, during your peak production, how many cars could you produce in a single week?
20,000, 30,000.
Could you give an estimate as to how many people died in Hitler's death factories?
This is slander. I don't belong in this courtroom.
Do you know if the Nazis ever used your designs for their master blueprint for genocide?
No!
Did the Nazis ever ask your assistance in the construction of this factory?
You can't link me with Hitler. I would never have been a part of something like this.
You circulated a known forgery about the Jews for 7 years. You helped find a newspaper which spread your brutal propaganda to millions of Americans. You helped finance the Nazi propaganda with your own money. You received the German Medal of Honor from the defendant in 1938, and you now say we shouldn't link you with Adolf Hitler?
Rabbi Franklin was my friend.
Did you ever consider the connection between your actions and the Nazi killing machine?
I gave the rabbi a new car every year.
Herr Ford, when you saw the defendant's final solution, were you then satisfied with your contributions to the progress of mankind?
You can't destroy my place in history!
Henry Ford is not on trial here.
I would like to read from the Universal Penal Code. Aiding and abetting, one who advises, counsels, encourages another to commit a crime, and participates in commission thereof by some act, word, or gesture.
No, you can't do this to me.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you that this witness and those like him must also be held responsible for these acts of murder. And even if we did believe him when he denies helping to build the German camps, he nonetheless helped to build them with his vicious racial ideologies, which set the foundation for these unprecedented crimes. I ask that you find Henry Ford guilty of aiding and abetting Adolf Hitler in the crime of genocide. July 15th, 1944. It's really a wonder that I've kept all my ideals because they seem so absurd and impossible to carry out. Yet, I keep them. Because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation consisting of misery, confusion, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder, which will destroy us too, and I can feel the sufferings of millions.